Okay, folks, we got about 1 minute. I'm going to unmute one attendee just really quick to make sure that you can hear me. Alicia Bradell, you're on the line. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, she can hear you.
Great, thank you very much.
Have a blessed day.
And you as well. All right, folks, we got about 30 seconds here and then we'll go ahead and jump right in. I'm hoping that most of you can see my screen, if not all of you. On this call, I've got a couple of individuals from our organization. I want to let them say hello. Andrew Armstrong is with us from our EDS group. Andrew, say hello.
Hey, guys.
Thanks for joining tonight, or this morning, I should say, wherever you're coming from. It's very late at night for me.
You're welcome.
Also, I'd like to also welcome Jeff Morgan. His line cannot be used to join us on the audio portion of this, but he's a big part in the information services group and helps a lot out with the development of this particular feature in our back office. He's a great addition to the Zija team, been around for a long time. All right, folks, it's 1 a.m. Let me go ahead and kick this off with a hello to the Zija Nation. I'm so excited to be here with you tonight to share with you some of these new features. Originally, I had shared with you guys some of the vision with these webinars, and hopefully everybody is motivated and, at least on some level, excited about these webinars. I love technology. I love the power that it gives people to get things done. I also know that there is a time and a place for technology, and sometimes it can get in its own way. One of the things that we're doing in the technology group at Zija is we're trying to make sure that the technology for the field makes a lot of sense. Before we get started and jump into the review of these new features and some of the things that we've added recently to the tree view, let me share with you a couple of key points. First of all, we want to keep this webinar as relevant as possible to the current topic. I would love it if everybody that's on this call tonight or this morning shares with us questions that you may have. So if you look on the right-hand side of your screen where you have the webinar control panel, you'll notice that there's a questions box. You can feel free to reach your hand into that little section of the program, add your questions as you'd like, and we will get back to you as soon as we can on those questions. Our panel, Andrew and Jason and Jeff, have all of the questions logged, and they will be able to answer them as you put them in. The other thing, originally I'd intended to open this up for a Q&A afterwards. However, there are a significant number of you on the call today, and I don't think that we're going to have a very successful opportunity to do an open forum Q&A. So with that, I do encourage you again to use the questions section in the webinar where we will be able to respond to you at a later date and get you some relevant feedback to your questions and answers as well. So thank you again for joining, and let's go ahead and jump right in. I expect that this webinar will take about 30 minutes. Like I said before, we are recording it, so if you don't have 30 minutes or you can't stick around for that long, we will make them available in the back office at a later date. And hopefully, if you aren't able to attend, you could potentially let your leadership also in your own organizations see this information in the future. If you can see my screen right now, you should be looking at my back office. This is my test account. It's been created for this demo. It reflects a subset of users, different varying activity levels. Some of them are my personally enrolled, some are not. I'm sponsored by somebody, and we have a significant amount of content for these particular trees that may or may not reflect your organizations individually. However, the information that we present on the tree is still relevant even if your organization is large or small. And hopefully, as we go through this, you'll see some of the value in it and some of the information that it puts right in front of you. When you log in, you come to this main page right here. And as you can see, this is a page that all of you are familiar with. I scroll down, I can see documents, events, quick links, some of my auto ship templates, summary detail, notifications that have been received recently, my current pin rank, and my active level along with our nice tile of ads that pop across the screen. By the way, I wanted to highlight this. Hopefully you'll all take advantage of that promo and purchase the 5 and get 5 free. That's a great value right there and help for growing your business. I wanted to share that with you. Let me go ahead and hop in over here to the tree view. I click on View My Team. And obviously, you've all seen a lot of this information. First of all, we're going to start with My Genealogy for the first section of the demo. And then we're going to jump into the Sponsor Tree view, which is a new view that we've recently built and added to the back office. I'll start by clicking on My Genealogy. One thing that you may or may not notice is that this tree view loads way faster than it used to. This is something that we've put in a lot of energy and effort to. I think a lot of the development team that has helped to work on speeding up the back office, and this is one spot where we spent quite a bit of time and energy. And so thank you to those developers that worked so hard on that. Regardless of your organization size, that information is going to load about the same speed regardless. It uses a lot of caching. The information as is added to dynamically does get loaded, and then the information is stored for future use without any changes. Right here, you'll notice that it comes to a certain level, and as you can see, I'm zoomed out a bit here. I can zoom a little bit further out, and you can actually see this. Now, if I change the resolution of my screen, which would make the demo quite a bit more unruly, these tiles get a little bit smaller, and they also get a little bit large. You can see more of the tree. In this particular case, we're working on an issue right now. As you can see, these buttons back here are hidden, and I'm actually going to change my resolution real quick, just a little bit, to make sure that you can see those buttons. All right, so hopefully you can see that a little bit better now. Reload that one more time. There we go. Hopefully that's not too small for you. You'll notice at the top here we've got a couple of new features that we've added. One of those things is a search box. And inside of this search box, if you know the person's name that you're looking for, you can actually search for them by name. So first off, I'll go ahead and just check out Ron Richards, who happens to be in my downline. And I'll click search. And it's going to load up his particular downline with his current tree. And so that's a valuable step. If you are looking for information of a particular person you know and you want to see their entire organization, you can instantly just type in their name and it'll search for that and go right to it. We also have the opportunity to jump up levels. As you can see, my sponsor is Jeff Test, who happens to be another test account that is in our back office for us to use, and you'll notice that that person's information is loosely represented here. I can jump up one level and you'll notice that I'm the top of my downline, so I can't really see my upline on the tree. So this piece of information is very useful, not for when you're looking at yourself, but when you're using another feature here that allows us to see more information. So let's say that I came into this tree view and I found my friend Chance Caldwell, and I was really interested in knowing a little bit more about what they were doing, and so I clicked to view their tree. And if I click on that arrow right there, as you saw, it's going to load up their tree with them at the top, and you'll notice that they don't have anybody that's sponsoring, and they're just brand new and getting started. And I just clicked down 2 levels, and I'm not sure exactly where I was, but I know that I need to go back up. So I can jump up 1 level, and I can know that then I know Chance was sponsored by Luke Miller, and we can find that information out pretty quickly in the tree view. And if I want to jump back up, I can put the number 3 in, I can jump up and it'll go back to the top, which is me. And now again, we can see our whole entire tree. So at a glance, some of this information may not make a lot of sense, but as I explain it, hopefully you'll see the value in it. I'll start off with Stephanie Scorn. As you can see, she has this little blue icon right here. Looks like a little person. This indicates that this person in the tree was personally sponsored by you in this spot right here. And so that makes it fairly easy for you within the tree to see who you have personally sponsored. You can see at a glance pretty quickly, so that's pretty useful when you're looking at a very complex and large tree. The button right next to that is your volume, and you can see what your left and right volume is right at a glance without having to click on anything or do anything on any one of these individuals. You'll notice that changes as you go through. If they don't have volume, they're 0. And that is one of the ways that we've added some information at a glance for you to utilize. Another one that shows up at a glance is this one next to it, is whether or not there's an auto ship. And if you see the icon there with auto ship, that means that they do have an auto ship. If you see a blank space right now, that means they don't have an auto ship. Following that, you can see right here that we have an activity level. And this individual, who happens to be me, is auto ship with an active 150. And it also shows where my location is. And this information is valuable in that sometimes your organizations may be spread out a little bit across the country or the globe, and at a glance you can quickly find out exactly where they're at. This tree view from the tile perspective hasn't changed a lot with the information that's presented herein. It shows when you joined, your pay rank and your pin rank, also your ID, and the same information for other distributors if they have received a pay rank and what their pin rank currently is. The other one is this tile right here. The contact card is a clickable icon that lets you load up some information about this particular distributor. Hovering over each one of these will also bring up that same information. You can click escape to close out of it. And this information is represented for all of these individuals. When you click on this card right here, it will bring up the information and it won't leave. And the value that comes from this is, say you were trying to look at 2 different distributors and see what they're doing. So you want to take a look at Burt Green and compare them to Stephanie Scorn. Well, now I can just bring them up right next to each other, and I can see a little bit of information about their own organizations, their rank, their left and right volumes, their team volumes left and right, and their banked volumes left and right for both individuals. Down at the bottom, you can also see that there is personally sponsored, personally enrolled list with the numbers next to it, also sponsored tree volume for both individuals. So this kind of is a way for you to compare and kind of collectively bring tiles together that show information that's relevant within your organization. If you have more real estate on your screen, a higher resolution screen, you can bring up as many of these as you want, and you can compare as many at a time as you like. And you can then click X on these or click the escape key and it will close out that information. One other thing that we've been working on and that has been received by some well and by others not so well, and that is the feature that allows you to zoom in and out with this tree. Depending on your resolution, the default zoom level may seem a little bit smaller than you'd like. When we're dealing with information that's this size with the very wide nature of the binary tree, we chose a particular zoom level that at least got as much of the tiles on the screen as possible and put it in front of you so that you could then manage it. One thing I didn't mention, but I'm doing a lot, is when the tree is loaded, you can click on the tree and drag it around as much as you like, and that makes it so that as you go from one side to the other, you can easily navigate through the tree. Now, all of these tiles beneath them have little arrows, and each one of those little arrows has the capacity to be hidden. And when you do that, it repaints the tree so that it removes that space and gives you back your real estate. And the same thing is going to happen every time. And what you're seeing happen is when you change that level, it's going to recenter on the information of the tile that you just hid. And so if I, for instance, hide the downline for Luke Miller, it's going to center the screen back to top with Luke Miller's information right on center. So this is a little bit of, sometimes we think that when we talk to people in the field and we ask them what they want, we do a lot of work to try to make sure that we hear you and that we listen. And we've got a lot of good feedback from leaders, but we're not done. And I want to share with you that the vision that we have for this particular platform. We think that for distributors, having information at their fingertips is probably the most valuable part of managing an organization. And when we talk about information, we know and understand that it's only good if it's relevant. It's only good if it's now, and it represents a slice in time that is, going to help you really get to the bottom of what issue you're trying to solve. And one thing that would be really valuable for us as we get feedback from you is to tell us what problem you're having and how you're trying to solve it with the tree. That would potentially allow us to add new features and improve this back office, particularly from the tree view. That would put you in a position where you could have this tool be more useful to you than it already is. One thing that we thought would be cool also is that when you click this View 10 Levels button, you are presented with as much information as possible within your own tree. So you can see that when I expanded my 10 levels, my left leg goes way down, all the way to 10 levels. And each one of those is representative of your work, your hard work. And you can see then that my right leg also goes down 10 levels. And that's a cool thing to see. For me, one of the things that I was talking to some of the corporate leadership here is how cool it would be to have a printout of the size of Zija's binary tree, and we started doing some investigation. I did some calculations, and the size of it, if we used tiles that were about this size, would be about 10 feet wide, 10 feet tall by about 30 feet wide at the bottom. And I don't know if that helps you guys paint a picture of the size of our organization. It's a pretty big one, and we're so grateful to have such great leadership out in the field selling our products. When you come to Zija Nation, you're coming here for a reason, right? You want to make a difference. You want to live life unlimited. And we really want to help people come to the knowledge of the great products that we have and see how they can improve their lives. And the message that we send, I think, is one that's quite significant. The 4 pillars that we rest upon that really don't stand alone without the others. I've grown to love. I've only been a member of Zija's team for about 3.5 months now, and what a great blessing it's been to my life to associate not only with you out in the field, but also leadership in our corporate office. It's been a real great blessing to me and my family. And this tree view is only one of many tools that we're trying to put in your hands to make it so that you can better grow your organizations and be successful as a Zija distributor. One other thing I wanted to look at really quick was a very simple component of this tree, and that is the hover feature. The hover feature is important in that when you have the information in front of you, a lot of times you're looking and you want to quickly know what it is that you're looking at, and that information can be quite valuable to you. Sometimes you don't want to have to click on something. Maybe you're just quickly glancing over and you want to change from one person to the next, and you're maybe looking for information about an individual. So you can quickly hover over each one of these, find the one that you're really looking for, and get an idea of what information is it that you're wanting to see. So that's the tree view right now in its current iteration. There are a couple of issues with it that I will share with you so that you know that we're working on them. One thing is when you hover on this, you notice that in 3 seconds this will disappear. This is actually being worked on right now and is a known issue. And it will come back eventually and then stay for 3 seconds and disappear. So that's one thing that we're working on resolving. The other thing that we want to make sure that we do for you is that all of this information that we present to you is relevant and polished. Recently we released a version of this that had a zoom out that was significant, and that was based on some feedback, but we realized pretty quickly that the way that we presented that was a little bit short-sighted. And so we reverted that change in the interest of the field and making sure that the information we presented is always polished. And right now we're working on ways that we can make this tree more visible to you and help you to see it in fashions that maybe you hadn't seen before. And I hope that as you have those questions that you're able to reach out and submit some of those questions through to the panelists. So like I said, they will reach out to you directly to answer those questions and give you this information directly and as a response to your question. So please do use the questions section. So if you have particular questions about a section. With that, I'm going to go ahead and hop on over to my navigation menu on the left-hand side, and I'm going to hop into the sponsor tree view. The sponsor tree view was the result of a discussion with a couple of support people in our executive distributors support team, particularly Andrew and some of the information services group that pay particularly close attention to what the leadership is asking for. And one thing that we really felt like would be helpful is for you to have access to information that showed you not just who's in your personally sponsored tree, but where they're at and potentially placing them in an order that made a little bit of sense. And so what we did was we designed this sponsor tree view to sort based on activity level. So if you have an individual that is silver and they're currently at a pay rank and pin rank of silver, they're going to be part of your field of leaders that's contributing most directly to your Builder 500 pool. So, as you rank up, you're going to have requirements to have additional Builder 500s, and those are going to help contribute to the growth of your organization and also the growth of your paycheck. And so as you look at this tree view, you can see that I'm here and I've got a total of 10 personally enrolleds, and that the total number in my organization is 40. And you can see that my most contributing personally enrolled is Matt Clarkson. And you can see that he is a pay rank silver, that he joined on the 8th of April, which as we create these test accounts, there's not a whole lot of opportunity to backdate, but you can see that he's pay rank silver, pin rank silver. He has 3 personally enrolleds in his organization and also has 11 total individuals in his organization. Next in line is Bert Green, and he has the same information presented for me to be looking at to see what do I need to do to help this person be more successful. Then you see Haley Wilson, who is a personally enrolled that was pin rank distributor but is currently pay rank inactive, which means they're not really contributing to my current rank. You can see that my pay rank is diamond right here, but obviously if you know how this system works, I'm probably not going to make diamond unless this person gets back onto the active horse, that person, and that person. And so with that, the information that you can come in here and get is of significant value, because now you know what it is that you're going to need to do next to make sure that you reach that next rank, to make sure that you maintain that current rank and keep those individuals in your personally sponsored pool that would contribute most directly to you maintaining and growing in your ranks. One of the cool things that we have the capacity to do here is to see some additional information. Obviously we've got this tile as well, but as I load this individual up into their personally enrolled, I get access to some additional information. We've got the same information on the top level, but if you see this little blue icon right here on each one of these individuals, let's go back up to myself. Each one of these blue icons right here will actually load a little report down below that will show you the information about their particular downline, their personally sponsored. And many of you that are working hard and recruiting a lot and doing the growth in your organizations, you're going to have a list on this page that's going to look quite significant. The value in this particular space is that now you have instant access to this information that otherwise would have to be kind of combed through on these icons. And so while we see the value in the tree and the view that the tree provides, we also see a value in information and being able to see it at a quick glance. So if some of you look at your organizations on this sponsored tree page, you click on that blue icon, it's going to load a level 3, level 2, level 1, level 4, as many levels as you have as those distributors have grown their business in your personally enrolled section as well. One thing that I think is pretty relevant about this particular information is that what you get in front of you right now is an opportunity to really see kind of a snapshot of your organization, particularly as it relates to Sponsor Tree, and you can see what their activity level is and how valuable, or not how valuable, but what kind of help and where you need to apply pressure to help grow your organization, to help your personally enrolleds get over their own hurdles. If you see that that Haley Wilson joined up as a distributor, managed to enroll 3 people and had 2 Builder 500s, but for whatever reason went inactive, that's something that you want to know. And you want to be able to reach out to that individual. And for the sponsored tree, if you have more than 6 individuals in your own sponsors pool, you can see this little arrow right here, and you can click on that, and it will load the next however many you have. And so for me, I have a total of 6 also, and they're listed right here for us to see. So ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that my team is doing, and I hope that you have this commitment from us, and I'll share it with you again. I'm going to share this on every webinar. Obviously, we want your feedback. We want you to feel like you have a stake in this just like we do. And we can't really make tools that will provide you with a lot of value unless we hear from you and know that they're based on your feedback. This is one that is based on feedback. There's some additional features and benefit coming from this particular report itself that we'll be announcing at a later date that are extremely valuable. They should help you manage and reach out to your individual personally sponsored or personally enrolleds and their personally enrolleds and so on while you manage your own organizations. One thing I was reminded by, real quick, I want to jump back to my genealogy tree. There's a link up here at the top of this page, and when you click on this link, it's going to load this box, and the box is going to show you what is kind of a legend for all of the features and the information that's presented. And if you have questions, you can always come to the help section and see what it is that Zija, as in this feature particularly, is trying to actually display to you. So if there are questions about what these icons mean or what the buttons do, you can click on this help icon and see some of that information at a glance. Same thing is true for the sponsor tree view. You click on help right here, and it's going to load a similar piece of information on this page. And you can catch kind of the same vision of what we're trying to do with this little help menu, just to give you a kind of a definition of what all those icons mean, what kind of information is going to display, and what each thing that you might do inside of this panel will get you, basically. So with that, folks, this is Dave Jensen coming to you live from Malaysia. And I hope that this webinar has been of some value to you. As I mentioned before at the beginning of the webinar, this is being recorded and it will be posted online for the back office at a later date. As we do that, we will get better and better at communicating with you and letting you know that those webinars are available for review in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you how much I value your efforts. I've never been a distributor. I haven't built an organization from the ground up. Before I came to Zija, I was working at an organization that supported network marketing companies. And what a different experience it has been for me to work for a network marketing company. I think just like any opportunity that comes your way, there's been some challenges, but I have to be honest, it has been such a great ride. I've really enjoyed the time that I've been able to spend getting to know some of you, and look forward to opportunities where we can sit down and talk even more about what the future of Zebra holds from a technology standpoint, what we can do to make this work better for you. We really want the back office to be out of your way when you don't want it, and to be right there for you when you need it. And as we grow and as we continue to get that pulse on what the field needs and wants, we're going to be able to provide you with solutions and tools that will meet your needs and that will help you grow your organizations to the next level. You know, Zija Nation is not small, and I'm so grateful to be a part of such a wonderful organization. We have worked very hard lately to simplify our messaging, to make sure that we communicate with the field and that we are sharing our vision with you. The natural health revolution is on, and we are all working together in tandem as partnerships in this great work to get it done. I know that there's going to be frustrating times ahead, that there will be opportunities for us to grow. I'm not opposed to that. I think that any opportunity that Zija at corporate has to stretch and to improve, I welcome that. I welcome your feedback. I welcome your criticism. I hope that in that light, as we move forward, the criticisms and the feedback can be provided in a positive light. Know that we hear those feedbacks. I commit to receiving that and to responding. We will get you information in front of you, whether it's training in an area of the back office that you are unfamiliar with, whether it's just additional webinars to teach people how to use particular features that have been included. There's a whole lot of information that's presented in the back office, and honestly, some of it might be less useful than others. We welcome that feedback as well. Help us understand what you need. Oftentimes, we make the mistake of assuming that one shoe fits all, and we know that that's not the case. And hopefully, as we collaborate and work together as partners, we can make this back office as great as it can be, and make it a tool for you that you value, and also one that provides you with information that is relevant to your efforts in the field. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I appreciate your time in joining us today. I am so blessed to be part of this great company. Zija is the real deal. We have leadership in the field that backs that up. We have corporate leaders that back that up. I'm a humble member of that team, and really am grateful to associate with people like Dr. Plant, like Jerem Dastrup, like Ryan Palmer. Those men, they are a great team of leaders, and I'm grateful for all that we do together to try and make things go the way that we want them to go, which is up, up, up. So with that, I'll sign off from Malaysia. Again, please note that this recording will be uploaded to the back office. When that happens, we'll make sure that you see it. And please do, if you have any questions, send out the information or give us those questions and feedback that you can. And hopefully we can continue to work together and get this going the right way. Thanks again for your time. Dave Jensen, out.